All right, so which one's the lowest power? 3 halves or 7 halves? 3 halves. So then my GCF is just going to be the x plus 4 to the 3 halves power. So essentially what I'm going to do, that value is going to go right out here. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of space, because I'm going to divide each one by x plus 4 to the 3 halves power. Whenever I factor, essentially what I'm doing, since I'm moving it outside of grouping symbols, bracket, parenthesis, whatever, I'm really just dividing it out of each part. So in doing that, if I look at each thing individually, what's going to happen right here at the very front of the problem? It's just going to be 1, right? Because it cancels straight out. So it's going to be 1 plus, because I just brought my sign. And then what am I really doing? The bases are the same. So I have x plus 4 to a power and x plus 4 to a power on the bottom side. What am I actually doing with the 7 halves and the 3 halves? Subtracting. So 7 halves minus 3 halves is what? 4, or 4 over 2, which is really squared, right? So inside I'm going to have x plus 4 quantity squared. Now I need to combine everything, so what is x plus 4 squared? How am I going to rewrite that? X squared plus 8x. Bless you. That sounded a little wet. And then I still have the x plus 4 to the 3 halves power out in front. Now, combine like terms if I have any. So I have the 16 and the 1. So I'm just going to have x squared plus 8x plus 17 inside the parenthesis, and then x plus 4 to the 3 halves power. Now, on a lot of these, I've had to move something down to the bottom side as a denominator. Do I have to do that here? No, why not? There's no negative, right? There's no negative exponent. So I'm essentially done right here. All right, with 13, I have 9b squared x minus 16y minus 16x plus 9b squared y. Now, there's 4 terms. Okay, so 4 terms, what should I be looking to do? I want to do it by grouping, right? So if I do it by grouping, then I want to actually move it around to where I'm going to take my 16x. I'm basically going to flip spots with the negative 16y. So that way I have my x's. So I have 9b squared x minus 16x. Now, because it's 9b squared x, I'm going to go ahead and put it kind of in the same order because it's going to be a little bit easier to deal with, and go 9b squared y minus 16y. Do you understand why I put the 9b squared? Like, I just rearranged it. It didn't change. As long as the sign moves around, it just makes it a little bit easier to work with. Because now, what can I factor out of the front 2 parts? An x, right? So I have an x. Then I have 9b squared minus 16. Now, since I'm doing it by grouping, that means that I should have 9b squared minus 16 here. Am I going to? Yeah. Okay. What is going to go in front of it and kind of fill that hole? Plus y, right? So, as I rewrite this, I'm going to have x plus y times 9b squared minus 16. Now, am I finished? Why not? Because the 9b squared minus 16, I can factor this right here, because what is it? Difference of two squares. So the x plus y is going to stay. I'm going to have 3b minus 4 and 3b plus 4.